I want to talk about the box office this weekend, because the funny thing about it is there's kind of this, I don't know what the word would be. It proves the apathy of like the market right now. So it says weekend estimates, and by the way, guys, this is from Box Office Pro, and it says weekend estimates, Spiderman No Way Home remains number one for the fourth weekend in a row with $33.2 million. Hits number 6 all time, and then the 355 fails to ignite with only $4.8 million. So it says, with Omicron cases continuing to surge across the United States and the lucrative holiday movie-going window now complete, the North American box office took a sharp downward turn in the first non-holiday weekend of the year. The holdovers Spider-Man No Way Home and Sing 2 both helped keep the marketplace afloat in the absence of any major new titles or expansions, ahead of next weekend's Paramount new Scream sequel. The weekend's only wide opener, the Universal's 355, failed to register with audiences. $4.8 million on a movie when I think everybody should have been saying to themselves, duh. I don't think anyone actually... I was vaguely excited about this movie at first, and then the marketing went to completely opposite direction. The reason I mention that is when they first started marketing the film, they were really just marketing it around the stars of the movie, which is like Jessica Chastain and these well-known celebrities. And then the marketing just took this hard turn into like the more feminist angle of like, it's for women. They're spies and they're doing... I love the fact that the early marketing didn't make that a strong point, because it's always divisive when you do that in current year Hollywood. And they even talk about it in some of the reviews. They're like, it's very 2010, or I'm sorry, it's very 2015 to talk about like female only spy movies and stuff like that, which is, you can make them, but I just feel like outside of the possibility that once in a while you find one that does really, really well. I remember Ocean's 8 did like fairly well, but it also had a much smaller budget than a lot of these movies do.
Well, also rewind back to Ghostbusters 2016.
Yep, that's the number one example of like people lost a lot of faith in these types of because it feels forced, right? It feels like it's written by some producer in like a studio exec in a big ivory tower building that says like some studio name. And they're like, what if we did like all these male dominated movies, but get this, with women? Now that's fine if it's like what you actually want, like if you just market it as a movie, but when you market it this way, it's automatically divisive to modern day audiences. They feel the agenda written all over it. And plus the trailers for this movie just didn't really hit all that well. I tried to get like 3 people at the house here, like at the office here, to like go see it. Nobody wanted to see it.
Well, I told you if you wanted to go see the movie, I can go with you. It doesn't matter who's with me.
Well, I'm saying we didn't have like there was no plans. I didn't know if I thought you guys were going back to
No.
His I didn't know.
What like you were legit. I said
if Chris had said he wanted to go, I would have sent you a message. But if it was just it's all right.
Well, I said I would have gone. If you guys are scared about like ticket money, I would have paid for Charlie's ticket.
No, it's not that. It's it's just the fact that nobody seemed to want to go, and then I kind of lost interest in it as the marketing changed. So it's kind of like whatever.
Well, also we only saw one trailer for it.
I saw 2, and the second one was almost exactly like the first one. And then the marketing along there was a really funny article from one of the people in the movie.
I'm listening.
Lupita Nyong'o. She got COVID, and they're like, she canceled her digital interviews, or she canceled her she had distance interviews, and they canceled them. I'm like, you canceled like interviews over a computer? What the hell? Theoretically, I guess she could have lost her voice. Maybe
she could have, or she could have reenact. You remember that movie Us, where she did that fake voice, and everybody was offended because she sounded like a chain smoker / deaf person.
Why were they offended?
Because basically she mastered a beautiful voice, but again, like how I said, everybody was offended because it sounded like she was a chain smoker, and she was like, they thought she was making fun of people who were like chain smokers or deaf. Of course. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I still think that's overly sensitive.
Yeah, but no, she said she wanted to do that voice because the character that she was playing as is like a demon /
Well, then you make the voice. It's like Zoom season 2, played by Teddy Sears, but then when he's wearing the Zoom costume, his voice is done by Tony Todd, who has a very, very.
But she did her own voices.
I'm just saying, I'm saying you change the voice because it fits the character. That's the definition of modern day complaining about any little thing. I weep for the world. These days.
It's okay. I'm waiting for the world to catch on fire.
She is. Universal. So it says Universal Illuminations Sing 2, which was released on PVOD the weekend earlier than expected, likely due to Omicron explosion. There's no mention of Omicron whenever they talk about Spider-Man. But they talk about it when it's for any other movie because they want to make excuses. Fell 41% in its third weekend of release after easing just 10% into the sophomore frame. The animated sequel now has 109.1 domestic box office. That's pretty good. A far cry from the original Sing, which had pulled in $214 million by the end of its third week. That said, considering the state of the pandemic, again, an excuse, and the fact that many children in the film's target group haven't yet had an opportunity to receive a vaccine, Sing 2 had a relatively healthy run so far. I think 100 million is pretty good. Whether I think the pandemic is a fair excuse to make for this, I really do think these studios need to stop using it as an excuse and start making better movies. It says Universal also had its third place title this weekend with the long delayed The 355, which launched to an estimated 4.8 at 3,145 theaters. So it's about 1,000 less theaters than like Spider-Man did when it jumped first.
Yeah,
but if you look at this cast, it says despite a recognizable cast including Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, and Sebastian Stan, even having Sebastian Stan just makes me think of Ghostbusters 2016 with Chris. Was it Chris Hemsworth or was it Liam Hemsworth? It was Chris Hemsworth who plays like the buffoon in that movie because the guys are all buffoons and everyone else is awesome, but the guys are awful. As per usual. Or did you? What's even worse is if anybody here had the misfortune of seeing the Elizabeth Mitchell. The Charlie's Angel remake from 2019, which is really, really, really bad. Just mean-spirited, I guess would be the way to say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't helped by a poor showing with critics. Its Rotten Tomato score is unfortunate, while its B+ cinema score is more promising. That's them saying as if they pretend like we care what critics think about movies anymore. You can watch a trailer. I would say the critics have less sway than a general interview with these celebrities, and what their talking points are tells you more about what the movie's going to be like than anything else. All of the critics, it always just comes up, they're bought and paid for by studios, so it doesn't really matter. While promising, the Bourne-style title seemed destined to flame out quickly before reaching a wider audience on PVO. See, I think a movie like this would do better streaming.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much it costs to make. In fact, I'm going to look it up.
Do it. Search on live.
Keep talking while I search.
So, but other than that, what are you excited for to see in 2022?
There was another 355 in 1974. I don't know what that is. But let's just, before we get there, so it's got a budget of... Okay, it doesn't list the budget yet. So it likely hasn't been published. Usually it's down here next to box office. So... Budget. Nope, no information on budget yet. So, but with that many like stars, right? Like you'd imagine that it cost a fair amount of money to make. So, a movie like that, maybe you take a chance on one star, like a Jessica Chastain, right?
Yeah.
And then you cast some more economically available stars in the second, third, and Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, and Sebastian Stan probably all cost a pretty penny to get involved in these projects. So you take Jessica Chastain or Lupita Nyong'o. I would say Jessica Chastain. Out of all those names, I'd say of the women, Jessica Chastain is probably the biggest actress. Penelope Cruz is pretty big too, but I feel like I hear more about Jessica Chastain these days.
You think
so? I could be wrong. But you pick one of those three, and then you cast some relative unknowns in roles 2 and 3. Save yourself some money and release it PVOD.
Yeah.
Maybe not even PVOD. Maybe you just release it on Amazon Prime or some type of streaming service, and it does better.
Maybe Netflix, because more people have Netflix. Yep. And then like Prime, you have to have an Amazon Prime account. Yeah,
well, you have to have an Amazon account, or you have to have a Netflix account to watch Netflix.
Yeah, but everybody pretty much has that now.
At this point now, I go back to Netflix for like Longmire to rewatch Longmire.
What's Longmire?
Longmire was like a modern day Western series based on a set of books called the Walt Longmire Mysteries. He's a character. He's like a mystery novel character. He's like an old school stoic sheriff. It's got Katie Sackhoff. Katie Sackhoff is from like Battlestar Galactica, and she's in the new Star Wars. She's in The Mandalorian.
Okay.
It's also got Lou Diamond Phillips, who's one of the best actors working today. He plays a character named Henry Standing Bear. So it's Walt is a small town sheriff who's very stoic, very closed off. Henry Standing Bear is his best friend who runs a bar and lives on the reservation in the town. By the town they're in Wyoming. Really, really good writing. Almost no science. That's the best part. Like there's no like very little CSI type stuff. The crimes involve like murders at rodeos and stuff. It's really good.
Okay.
So that's like I keep Netflix for like a couple of really good shows, and then when they get a good movie every once in a while, or not even good, but like a notable movie. Like I watched Red Notice. We didn't really like it, but you keep Netflix for like a couple of good shows, and then you get every once in a while something good comes out that you can watch it. Or if you're like me and you love Cobra Kai. Which I got other people watching this weekend. They're like, it's so good.
Yeah, the new season's good.
Yep. So Miracle is not very interested in that. That's okay. That's okay.
It's because I think it's too cheesy. Like it's extra cheesy, and I'm like, ugh.
So the funny thing about this is the 355 came out this weekend. So the next that means that Spiderman will hold the box office again until next weekend. I think Scream will beat it next weekend. That's pretty obvious. That's the only nationwide release all week next week. And then after that, we don't get another one until the 21st of January. Now, typically January is a pretty dead month for movies, so we'll be probably pretty slow right now. But at this point, is there going to be like a... What's the next one that's going to come out? That's not till February. And that remember, normally we would have had Morbius in February, but instead we've got was that the end of January? That was like January 28th.
Of January, yeah.
Instead, we've got Moonfall on February 4th, which I'm fairly excited about, and then February 11th we've got Death on the Nile and Blacklight. Blacklight is the new Liam Neeson movie, I believe. So there's some stuff coming up, but January in general is a pretty dead month. So there's good stuff listed here on streaming if you're looking for something like that. Like limited release, I believe, means theaters, but there's also it lists Netflix shows like here. The Tragedy of Macbeth comes to Apple TV. Some people have been talking about that. All stuff like that. So we'll see. It was a pretty slow week, but it just proves that the 355 failed to market properly, and people are kind of over the narrative-driven structure of like taking traditionally male movies like spy thrillers and making them about just women. Like Atomic Blonde was pretty good. Because it was I forget the name of the actress in it. She's the other one from that time period that's really good. Charlize Theron. That was pretty good, but it's got James McAvoy in it, and it's like and Charlize Theron is like a pretty like famous, extremely established actress, right? But it's one actress. It's not a cast of them. So like that genre is kind of becoming played out more and more, and people are looking for either a return to maybe old norms, or they want something done entirely differently. So we'll see where that goes. No? Well,
I don't know, because like Atomic Blonde for me, I didn't really enjoy that movie.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It felt like they were trying to do female John Wick, but that's how these things tend to go. As soon as something becomes popular, you get 15 knockoffs of it within the first couple of years. It's like when somebody does like a new magic, like a new illusion, then there's like 20 knockoffs after they figure out how somebody did that illusion in magic. So
exactly.
So that is a slow box office week for sure. But hopefully, when Scream, I'm not sure if we're gonna go see Scream because you're not really a big horror movie fan, right?
Neither are you. But if you want to watch it,
I love the Scream movies. So we'll see. I'm not 110% sure if we're gonna go see that, but just the fact that I love those movies is kind of enough for me to want to go. So we'll see.
But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that is coming out on Peacock TV that we can maybe invest into.
Like what?
So I just searched up what's coming out for 2022. There's Supernatural Academy. That's animations. Wednesday is based on Adam Wednesday.
Wednesday Addams?
Yep.
Not what Adam. Is Adam Wednesday somebody different than Wednesday Addams?
Nope, I said it in the wrong order.
I was like, is there an Adam Wednesday?
No,
Holy crap.
I said it in the wrong order. That's going to be on Netflix.
Okay.
So basically, Wednesday.
Of course, they would give the. Did you see Enola Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like that. I'm guessing, except they probably don't have Henry Cavill, so they're already losing by not having Henry Cavill.
Oh, they actually are approving Miss Marvel. Okay.
What do you mean?
Miss Marvel's coming out soon, and that's going to be on Disney+.
The Disney Plus?
Yeah.
What does it say the date?
They're not saying right now. They're just saying it's on Disney Plus and more. Nope, nothing.
Okay, so not anytime soon.
And no,
it would have a release date because obviously there's not even a trailer for that yet.
Nope. But I don't know. I was just searching up like new TV shows that we can watch during the gap. And like it looks promising. Like
I'm not sure if that. There's a show called Jack Reacher. It's a book series.
Yeah, isn't it also a movie that they did?
Yeah, there was a Tom Cruise version of the movie.
Yeah,
he did too. The first one was really good.
Yeah,
the second one is
yeah.
But the TV show, somebody explained this to me. I think it was in one of Zach from Comics Matters channel. He mentioned like in the books.
Yeah.
That character is like really tall, right?
Yeah.
But Tom Cruise is really short.
Yeah.
So when you see him beat people up, it's like really impressive. But the guy they have cast in the new one is like super tall.
Yeah.
So when you see him beat up people, they're all way shorter than him. It just looks mean. Like it just looks like he's beating up people less fortunate than him.
Yeah.
But I am going to say, I'm not sure if you want to watch that with me, but I'm gonna be watching.
I
that
don't
one.
like Tom Cruise, but
no, he's not in.
I know. That's why I didn't watch the original one. I know of it, but if it's the new one, it's not with Tom Cruise, then okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, like it's. Did you ever see?
See what?
What was it called? It's a Clancy novel book. That's the one with the guy from The Office. Who's Jack from The Office?
I don't know the characters.
Okay, so. When I looked up Jack Reacher here, the first thing it shows me is the Tom Cruise one. Oh, I think it's just called Reacher.
Jack from The Office, right?
Here we go. Alan, this is not him. That's not what I'm talking about here. Alan Richardson is who's going to be in the new, what do you call it? Reacher series. And Malcolm Goodwin. Malcolm Goodwin's really good. You know him from iZombie. He plays not Clint. What's his in the series? He plays the cop, Detective Clive Babineau.
Yeah.
So he's in there. Willa Fitzgerald. I believe she's from Arrow. I'm looking here. The internet is going very, very slow right now.
Well, also we're in a dead zone.
Yes.
Of the house.
No, I'm sorry. That's not who. That's a different Willa. Willa Fitzgerald is from the Scream TV show. That's what I remember her from. And she had was it Dare Me, Young Beach House. Nothing else that I would really watch, but Royal Pains. That's what I remember her from.
Oh, did you watch that TV show?
Royal Pains? Oh yeah, really good.
It's really good.
Bathtub TV, they call that. It's like you can watch it at any time, and it's very comforting.
Sure.
The show?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Then you should watch Dynasty.
Really?
Yeah, it's a CW TV show, but it was really good while it lasted.
It's too bad we don't have like the CW topic isn't next. That would have been the best transition ever. That's okay.
I tried.
That's so let's see who else. Bruce McGill is really good. And it's only an 8-episode run, so we should be able to get through that pretty quickly. So I say we watch that when it comes out.
It's like over an hour.
Let's see. Comes out February 4th.
Okay.
So we'll watch that. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.